Welcome to Let's Talk Woodstown. I'm Emma Allcorn along with Dr. Christopher Meyrick, the superintendent of the Woodstown Piles Grove Regional School District. On today's show, we'll answer some of the community questions, hear from a Wolverine alum who's a teacher in the district, and discuss what's happening in the district. Hi, thank you for being here today. How are you?
Doing well today. How about you, Emma?
I'm pretty good. It's my senior year, so getting all of the senior year things done along with applying to colleges.
Yeah, it's an exciting time for you for
pretty
sure.
Busy, yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
So, in January of 2024, the district implemented the 18-month plan, which we went over a lot on last season.
Correct.
And it contained 4 main goals: whole child achievement, external communication, internal communication, and improving the infrastructure. Yep. And since we've come to the end of that plan of promising every Wolverine a future, what are some of the highlights from it?
We accomplished a lot, Emma. I mean, if you look at that plan holistically, again, like you alluded to, it's broken down in 4 different increments, right? Whole child achievement, external communication, internal communication, and looking at our facilities and infrastructure. So if we go across the board, there was a lot, right? So if we look at the very beginning of last school year, we just received a 4-star rating for Grow NJ Kids, which rated our preschool program. And we kind of talked about it a little bit last year, where that's more like a Zagat rating for a restaurant. So again, great achievement there. As we continued that focus of the celebration and milestones, you know, we're able to kind of build out programs for our students, right? You guys, right? MTSS, which is multi-system systems of support, is for our elementary school students, our middle school students, and then this year we're actually going into the high school. We started unified bowling. We started esports. So all great things that are happening within the district. So we're going to continue to enhance that, but also when we look at external and internal communication, we're looking at the dual credit partnerships that we have with Rowan University, Stockton University, and again, just giving optionality to you guys as seniors.
Yeah, and it sounds like we made great progress over the last 18 months.
Yeah.
And then this year marks an important milestone where the district transitioned from the initial 18-month plan as it comes to an end, and a new plan that I hear is called Level 324. How did you come up with the name of that?
So Level 324, that's kind of where we started workshopping it, right? We talk about using our thought partner, ChatGPT, a little bit, but the idea of 18 months squared is 324. So we said, okay, if we go 18 months times 18 months, we're going to see exponential growth. And 18 times 18 is 324. So that's kind of where we got the focus from. When we look at the plan specifically, I know we'll talk a little bit more in later episodes, but really the focus is coming into not necessarily our areas of focus as much. You know, almost 2 years ago, we had 40 areas of focus. This year, going into that next iteration, probably about 10 to 15 areas of focus. But really now the focus really goes into our persistent practices. What are we doing consistently, and how do we continue to enhance it for the students, for the community, and for our district as a whole?
Yeah, and what do some of those aspects entail?
Well, we'll talk a little bit about, again, our gifted and talented program, our MTSS programs, our opportunities for you guys as students. That will continue to enhance. But, you know, as we kind of continue to unfold these plans, how do we get better, right? Like, look at even our format for this show, Let's Talk Woodstown. You know, the last 2 years we did it a certain way, and this year we're going to change it up a little bit, kind of make it fresh, make it alive, make it more beneficial to the viewer as well as the students.
So what does Level 324 entail?
So Level 324 still keeps at the root of our 5 Ps, right? When we talk about our 5 Ps, we're talking about our plans, we're talking about our processes, persistent practices, and obviously our people, right? So that still remains constant. Where now we're kind of shifting more so into the persistent practices. What are we doing well? What can we continue to enhance based off of new research or based off of new standards or new expectations from the state? So that's where we kind of now earmark different times of the year where we're checking in on those persistent practices, whether we're talking about MTSS, we're talking about gifted and talented, we're talking about unified sports, we're talking about esports, or even our activities in athletics. We kind of have earmarked those times, so now making sure that those persistent practices remain persistent in our practice as a district. But most importantly, now we also slide in to continue with our people, right? What are we celebrating, those milestone achievements? You know, if we look at it in terms of, that's the most important part, that's the celebration piece. You know, next month we're going to be recognizing, you know, multiple Making Woodstown Proud members at the community meeting, right, our board meeting, where whether it's a perfect score in NJSLA achievement or, you know, an Eagles Teacher of the Year, we're going to now make sure that we recognize our people still.
Yeah. I can't wait to hear about the rest of the opportunities and more about the finer details in later episodes.
Sounds great, Emma.
When we come back, we'll talk to Darren Huck, who has spent a multitude of years in the district as a student and teacher. Welcome back to Let's Talk Woodstown. With me today is one of our high school's physical education teachers and boys soccer coach, Darren Huck. Welcome to the show. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you, Emma. Glad to be here.
So, since you were a Woodstown High School alumni and you went to high school here, what is different from here now from when you were here?
Besides internet and technology, I'd probably say the school has changed. A little bit as far as it's expanded. We have 2 gymnasiums now with the middle school NPR. And probably the lunch menu has gotten better. So
Yeah.
More choices, better choices, I'm sure.
Yeah. What was your favorite memory from high school?
It would probably be sports related, athletics. I was a big part of the soccer program here, and I can remember a lot of our wins and our championship that we won when we were here. So definitely athletics, but more in particular would be the boys soccer team.
Yeah, and you're still with the boys soccer team as the coach. I'm
Yes,
sure
I
that's
am.
a big role.
It is. I didn't think when I first started, I didn't think I would be doing it this long. And I'm still here, so it's kind of weird because I feel like I've been with the program for 30, 35 years because of the coaching, and then I played previously, so it just kind of all rolled into one. So, and I've been here ever since.
Yeah. Why did you decide to come back?
Well, they offered me a position, which helps. When I got done school, college, I was looking around and trying to find the right school to teach and possibly coach at. And I started coaching here 2 years, about a year and a half prior to the school offering me a teaching position. And at the time, I was only doing some long-term subbing, trying to find that full-time job. And right place at the right time, a position came open, they offered it to me, and I've been here ever since.
Thank you for being here today and helping us promise every Wolverine a future.
You're welcome, Emma. Thanks for having me.
Of course. When we come back, Dr. Meyrick will join me again for the community chat.
Hate is loud, but love is the majority.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Woodstown. In our final segment of the show this season, we will have something new called the community chat. Dr. Meyrick, why don't you tell the audience more about it?
So as we kind of talked about earlier, right, we want to enhance this experience, right? We want to talk and how do we improve Let's Talk Woodstown. So one of the things we said, like, how do we get community questions, right? There's some questions that may be out there that haven't been answered. Obviously, we want them to be less urgent because if there are immediate questions, we want to know about them right away. But this gives an opportunity to be more interactive with our Let's Talk Woodstown.
Yeah. So our first question from the community is, the student attendance policy has changed this year. Why did it change and how will this affect the students?
Sure, right? So one thing I always tell my children, right? So I think I shared this last year. I have 3 children of my own, right? I have 2 girls and a boy. And every time they go to school, I tell them that they have to get smarter, right? And 1, they have to be there. 2, they got to get smarter. And the reason why I say that, because if they're here, they're going to have opportunities to learn. It's no different for you guys as students. I want you here, the administration wants you here, the teachers want you here. So the idea is really making sure that we're taking a concerted effort to show that attendance is important, right? Because again, if you're not here, you can't get smarter, right? And that's kind of the focus behind it. But then the second part is, if there's something that's prohibiting you from being here, we want to know about it, because again, we want to know how we can support you as a student, right? We talk about promising every Wolverine a future. Well, we mean that, and that's sincere, and the way we get you here, having conversations, is a part of that.
Yeah. And then we have a second question, and it's, I've been hearing a lot about school regionalization. What is it, and what is the status of it?
So school regionalization is something that's not new to Salem County. However, the conversation is new specifically to Woodstown-Piles Grove Regional School District, Alloway Township, and Upper Pittsgrove Township school districts, right? So the conversation is really just, would it make sense for us to operate as 3 separate districts, operate as, one whole district? Really, that's kind of the conversation at this point. There's nothing that's been decided. It's really, at this moment in time, it's with Rowan University, and it's collecting data, right? So that the next meeting that we have, we're going to invite the community back in. Here's what we found, and this would be recommendations, and what do we want to do? So once that comes about, then we go to our local school boards and have that conversation. So I would have it with Woodstown-Piles Grove, and the other 2 superintendents would have it at their respective district. And then if everything was successful, then we would go out to the community for vote in order to, if we want to consider regionalization as an option.
Yeah, thank you for answering those questions.
Sure.
If you have any questions you'd like the superintendent to answer on our show, go to woodstown.org/LTW to submit your questions. Thanks to our special guest, Mr. Huck. For Dr. Meyrick, I'm Emma Allcorn. See you next time on Let's Talk Woodstown.